In Gotham, the nights smother everything in a thick blanket of dread. But on this particular night, an unfamiliar kind of fear was spreading through the city's East District, more insidious than the usual crime and corruption. Batman knew the signs. People succumbing to a wasting, choking illness almost overnight. Emergency rooms flooding, morgues stacked with lost souls. And the authorities still guessing. He stood on the rooftop, silent as always, a gargoyle against the storm. But even for him, this was new. Down below, a police lieutenant stumbles out of a brownstone, his face pale, gasping for breath. An officer catches him before he falls. But Batman, watching from the shadows, already has his answer. This wasn't a natural outbreak. It was a toxina message. And there was only one name whispered at the fringes of Gotham's underworld. Dr. Death. Some villains craved chaos, others money or infamy. But Dr. Death sought something purer, evolution. He saw toxins, plagues, and venoms as sculptors' tools for a more perfect world, one where only the worthy survived. And now he was using Gotham as his laboratory. Batman knew Dr. Death's signature, rapid necrosis. A sickly sweet aftertaste in the air. Lab rats abandoned near the bodies as some twisted calling card. The equations, the molecular breakdowns, this was for Batman and no one else. So Batman hunted. He traced the sick to their neighborhoods, the neighborhoods to their suspects. And finally, through whispered threats and derelict clinics, to a single name, Lambert. A black market pharmacist, low-level, trembling in his tiny apartment, surrounded by makeshift gas masks and hazmat gear. He confessed soon enough he'd sold Dr. Death a shipment of rare embargoed compounds. 5 vials, each enough to poison an entire block. Batman's mind parsed the city's infrastructure, water mains, air vents, supply chains. He gripped the edge of the window. The fear wasn't for himself, never was. With Dr. Death, the risk was always the city, and sometimes a step slower meant thousands dead. Tracking Dr. Death was never simple, never direct. The man shrouded himself in layers. Henchmen, smoke screens, decoy laboratories. Batman infiltrated pharmaceutical plants, busted hidden clinics, disarmed tripwires, both chemical and physical. With every clue, the stakes rose. Dr. Death was always one step ahead, leaving teasing notes in pseudo-Latin. Molecular models drawn on walls in chalk, and the word selection scrawled across a dead scientist's desk. By the third night, Batman's focus narrowed. Dr. Death had moved his operation to the bones of Arkham Asylum, the old wing that was condemned after the last gas fire. There, in a makeshift lab glittering with glass, he was concocting his masterpiece, a volatile, air-transmissible strain. The perfect storm. Batman didn't wait for backup. He moved through the asylum's dark halls, shutting down security systems, disarming sentries, and watching as the corridors warped with chemically induced hallucinations, Death's favorite distraction. But Batman's will was iron. In the center of the grand operating theater, Dr. Death stood, hunched and skeletal, draping a chemical hood over his head, preparing the release canister. "You're too late, Batman," Dr. Death rasped, voice filtered by his mask. "The world must change. Gotham must change." Batman didn't speak. He rarely did. He launched a smoke bomb, fragmenting the room into shadows and confusion. Dr. Death fired his toxin into the mist, switched to filtration mode, and seconds became warfare. Fists smashed beakers, boots shattered glass, the hiss of escaping gas swallowed by the roar of hand-to-hand combat. Dr. Death wasn't a physical match, but he fought with chemicals, knives coated with paralytics, darts laced with neurotoxins, all aimed at slowing Batman down. But Batman anticipated him, blocked each attack, countered with the antidote synthesis in his gauntlet, something only he would have prepared, studying Dr. Death's formulae for nights on end. And finally, with a brutal takedown, Batman pinned Dr. Death to the cracked tile floor, shattering the canister before it could fully vent. The aftermath was cleaner than these things tend to be. GCPD hazmat teams, tipped off by Batman's silent signal, flooded the asylum. Dr. Death, shackled and sickly, never fought a rest. He wanted to see his experiment unfold, but it never would. not today. The city survived, barely, in no small part due to the silent figure who bled and sweated in Gotham's shadows. Later, as the news crews swarmed the perimeter, Batman melted away, watching from above, already searching the files for the next threat. Dr. Death's manifesto was recovered. Pages of scrawled notes, twisted justifications, and diagrams of future plagues. Batman read every word, committed them to memory, locking it all in the vault of his mind. Fuel for tomorrow. A warning for what comes next. For Gotham, the night was once again quiet. But the war for its soul, as always, was just beginning.